What's going on, you guys? If you're new here, my name is Morgan. Welcome back to another video. So this in general is going to be a two-part video, but I will also be doing updates probably on the weekly or every other week to talk about these puppies. So I haven't really done an update video or a litter video in a very long time. Between being busy, I just don't really show the litters off like I used to, and I probably should, but I just don't. But this is a very interesting situation, so that's why I'll be doing it. So let's get started on the story time, and in the next video, I will be introducing the puppies to you. I do have Ghost in my lap, so if you see my hands moving or you see Ghost's face, that's because there's a ghost here. And usually there's a Rue, but I think Rue's asleep somewhere. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and get started on the story time. So yesterday, normal day like any other day, Meleys was due to do today's Saturday. She had them yesterday, which was Friday, Thursday. She was due on Wednesday, which is very common for dogs to go late, depending on when they ovulate, depending on when their eggs drop. So it's very common. Hershey went almost a week late, which was 100% normal, especially for Hershey. This is always how she has been with her puppies, with her litters. So I was not really too worried, but I was because this was Meleys' first litter. So of course I'm going to panic, but you can't panic because if you panic, then the dogs panic. So just a little bit of tidbit information there. Her labor starts about noon because I had just ordered food and it wasn't going to be here for a little bit. So I ordered food and then walked in there and she had started her labor. Sometimes moms have little fluid sacs that pop out and you just pop and it's just fluid. It's just, fluid. So I'm like, okay, that means her labor is starting. So for a while, everything's normal. I go eat for like 20 minutes, go back, and she started having minor contractions that were very, very weak. And puppy's feet pop out. I'm like, okay, well, let's see if what's going on. This puppy is breech. I think it's about 50% of puppies that are breeches, like half and half. Breeches are very common with puppies. For the most part, you do have to assist sometimes, especially with the first puppy. But otherwise, there's never too big of a problem. Hershey's last puppy that's staying with us was a breech. But anyways, I digress. But the problem is the puppy never came out. So after 30 minutes, I'm like, okay, she keeps sucking the puppy back up. I'm starting to panic. And I'm like, I know what that means. That means you need to go to the vet. I don't care how long it's been. If she keeps sucking the puppy back up, that means go to the vet immediately because it means the puppy is stuck. So in 5 years, this is my second C-section. Frey had her first C-section, and then Meleys was my second. So, of course, I'm freaking out. I call the vet, and I'm like, it's 1:30 when I call the vet. I'm like, hey, this is what's going on. Is the doctor in? Is the vet in? Because he's the one that does the surgery. And she's like, yeah, he's in. Never says anything about being busy, which this is going to be important later. So I'm like, okay, pack everybody up, put everybody up, which that's an ordeal in itself. But the dogs are actually very, very smart and know when it's time to go up. A lot of them will go into their kennels by themselves, which include Aura, Athena, Brecken, Cappuccino, Pandora, Poseidon, Hades, Asterion, Wolf, Taylor Brimbore's learning to go in his kennel by himself. Zeus, Mia, Rosemary, they all know to go in there. Moon Dancer does. So, we're getting everything together, getting ready to go. I go put Meleys in the car, get everything started, and I head off very, very quickly because it's an emergency. I take a towel because I know what comes next. But I was hoping she would have the puppies on the way, but she starts leaking green fluid. And when the mama dog leaks green fluid, sometimes it stinks, and that means, there's an infection, there's a dead puppy, something's going on that shouldn't be there. So I'm freaking out, like, completely on the inside. But I can't freak out because if I freak out, then Meleys will freak out, and then the puppies will never come if they do have a chance of coming. We're on our way to the vet. I pull up to the vet. Of course, they're busy. I go in and check in, and oh my goodness, it's a nightmare. So I'm at that vet so often. Like all the time, at least once a week, at least. Sometimes I'm there more. I was there with Rhea when her milk ducts burst for, I was there 3 times in 1 week, maybe more, because I didn't see my main vet. The second time I saw another vet that I cannot stand. I do not like her. She's horrible. She's rude. She just doesn't, oh my goodness, she makes me want to pull my hair out. But for the most part, I think there are 2 main vets there. The surgical vet, who I always see, he's awesome. Just so awesome. And then there's another vet that I've really gotten used to seeing. But anyways, so 2 hours. I'm freaking out. It's 2 hours. And she's sucking that puppy back up. And finally at 4 o'clock, mind you, they close at 5. They stop taking walk-ins at 4. Sorry for that lapse. My mic died, so I had to go plug it in, of course, because, it died. But anyway, so we get called back at 4 o'clock. And I'm freaking out because I'm not sure if he's going to do the surgery at that point. And so the vet tech, I'm talking to the vet tech, tell her what's going on. And she doesn't believe me when I tell him I'm there so often. So she goes to get the vet, and the vet doesn't know it's me. The doctor doesn't know it's me. So he goes back there, and when he walks back, opens the door, and does a double take, and he's like, what is he that's me? Because I'm there so often, and he's like, it's you. It's you. I'm like, yeah, it's me. I told him I was here for a C-section. He's like, this is an emergency. Why didn't they come get me? You're here. I know you by now. You're here 3 or 4 times a week. Why didn't they come get me? Especially since this is you and it's an emergency. I said, I told them what was going on. They never said anything. They told me to have a seat. So he said, next time you have an emergency like this, you come in and you ask for me. He said, don't let them talk you out of it. You ask for me and tell them that you're here to see me and that you're here so often and that the doctor told you to ask for him next time. So he's like, you know what? Prep for surgery. Go do an x-ray. Told the vet tech, go do an x-ray and prep for surgery just in case she needs a C-section. So he goes in, lets them do the x-ray. She had 2 puppies that apparently, from what my mentor says, they're ready for college. They're so big. They're bigger than my 2-week-old puppies. Yeah, so my mentor says they're ready for college. They're bigger than my 2-week-old puppies at this point. We go over the pricing. They take her back for the C-section. He's like, he doesn't care that they're supposed to close at a certain time at 5. He's like, you know what, we'll go ahead and do the surgery. So he did the surgery, told me to stay in the lobby she'll be done between 5:30 and 6. Well, 6:30 comes around. She hadn't woken up till about 6:30. Quit! And they finally come back and get me. Both puppies lived. There was no worry there. I thought one of the puppies might have passed because of the green and her sucking it back up. But both puppies lived and are doing great. 1 boy, 1 girl, both pieballs, both long-haired, 1 chocolate, and 1 black and tan. 1 chocolate pie, 1 black and tan pie. So, you know, the vet was not very happy about that. And then I go to the counter to pay for it, and they say, oh no, I'm at the counter after I meet with the vet and the vet tech, and they say, and the front lady at the counter says, well, next time just call and tell us, or call us and see if we're busy or not, and we'll send you to an ER vet. I said, I did. I told you I was coming. And if I'd gone to the ER vet, I'm pretty sure it would have made the vet even more upset because he has never turned me away, and he probably would never turn me away because I'm there so often by now. He knows me by name now, and a lot of the vet techs know me by name that I've seen us regularly. So no, I was not going to do that. He was more than happy to take her. And I imagine they probably got a little bit of stern talking to because he does know us by now because we're there so often. So he was not happy. Meleys had her C-section done. Meleys, the Red Queen, gave birth to Caraxes and Cyrax. I had to match names. Cappuccino, Elrond is the daddy. His previous name was Vermithor, the Bronze Fury, but I did change his name from that because I wanted him Elrond. But Meleys, the Red Queen, gave birth, and so I decided to name them after her. So Caraxes and Cyrax, even though Caraxes is the brother of Meleys. But I digress. That's what I wanted to name them. I'm on the fence of keeping Cyrax. I have not decided. I'm not at that point right now to even decide about it. But I was there till about 6:30, and the other receptionist apologized, and she was happy that both puppies had lived and that the vet did the surgery. Because like I said, we're there so often. He knows us by now, and he was so upset that I had not told them and that they had not told him it was an emergency. So, as I was going to get Meleys and the puppies, he said she did really, really well and told me, you know, he'll see us in 2 weeks to get her stitches out because right now Meleys is under my desk in a kennel where she has enough room to go to the bathroom. I can change her puppy pads out. She's got enough room for the puppies to move around, to eat, to drink. But she should not be moving around too much because Meleys did have a C-section and does have stitches. But I did not want to leave her in there and the nursery by herself. Camera, no camera, doesn't matter. She does have these stitches and I wanted to keep an eye on her. She does not want to potty at all. I've taken her out multiple times. So she's against the pottying thing, but she has been under anesthesia, so she's a little bit out of it. But she's doing really, really well as a mommy, and she does have room to go to the bathroom. She just does not want to right now. But on the next video, I will introduce Caraxes and Cyrax to y'all. But it's just been a long day. Meleys and I have had a lot going on. Oh my goodness, I'm exhausted. I didn't get to bed till about 11 after, and then had to get up early this morning and do it all over again. Not with the C-section, just start the day all over again. But she is doing better. We are all very, very tired. Ghost is tired. Meleys is definitely tired. But I don't blame her. But we're just having a very relaxing night before I have to go back to bed and then do this all over again in the morning. But anyways, that's the first part of this video, so thank you guys so much for watching. Be prepared for the next part of this video where I introduce Cyrax and Caraxes to you. And I'll do weekly updates most likely of Mom and the puppies. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and end this video. So thank you guys so much for watching. And as usual, you guys, I'll see you guys next time in the next video. See you guys later.